Hare Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Swami translation and purport to text 14, chapter 7, in the matter of knowledge of the Absolute of the Bhagavat Gita as it is. Daiviyesha gunamayi mama maya durattaya mameva ye prapadyante mayame tam taranti te. Translation again. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. This is a very important verse of the Bhagavad Gita. If someone wants to memorize verses in the Bhagavad Gita, this is one of the more important verses to know. Prabhupada has given an extensive purport here, explanation. The Lord has got unlimited energies. And all of His energies are divine. So we are also energies of the Lord. The material nature is the energy of the Lord. The spiritual nature is the energy of the Lord. We discussed this morning how we are called the Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha means middle point, or Madhyastha Shakti. There's the higher Para-prakriti, the spiritual energy. Then there's the lower Apara-prakriti, which is the material energy. Sometimes we are also part of the Para-prakriti, or spiritual energy. But we are very small in size. Therefore, we're considered to be marginal. Because we're so small that although the material nature is inferior in the sense that this material nature has no consciousness. The material nature has no ability to move independent of the spirit. Therefore, it's considered to be inferior. The scientists are toying with the idea of trying to have artificial intelligence. And there's many science fiction movies about computers coming to life, taking over the world. But we read this morning a very clear verse where it says that matter can never produce life. Matter doesn't produce life. Well, life produces matter. Of course, there's a mention in one of the Puranas that when you go to visit Lord Indra in Swarga Loka, he's got some non-living servants who are some type of sophisticated biological robots. Exactly how he makes them, we don't know. It's a technology far superior than what we have on this planet. It just mentions they're actually not living, they're machines. But they act and speak exactly like a living person. The difference is that because they're machines, they have no emotion. They don't experience any emotion. So this, even if we program a machine, Indra's technology is far greater than ours. Even if we can program a machine to appear to think and react to certain predetermined kind of stimuli, the machine will not be able to experience emotions, will not be able to experience these higher sentiments, which are part of the free will of the soul. So if we understand that actually we're energy of Krishna, only because of our misuse of the free will, we have come here in this material world. And we are trying to lord it over the material world, thinking that we are the master of the material energy. That we think that this material energy is actually meant for us to enjoy. Or in other words, that there's some other activity other than devotional service to Krishna. That is called Maya, or illusion. Actually, the concepts are very simple. But even very, very learned pundits are not able to grasp them. Somehow, in order to grasp these things, one needs a special mercy of Krishna. A special type of spiritual intelligence is needed to be able to understand these topics. So that intelligence comes by rendering devotional service, by chanting Hare Krishna, by taking Krishna Prasadam. Milk is also a helpful ingredient to give one this more subtle type of intelligence. If we're the part of Krishna, we're the energy of Krishna, then our duty is to serve Krishna. But because we are people, we are living, therefore we've got free will. That means we have to voluntarily accept to want to serve God. If we accept to serve Bhagavan, that means we're liberated. When we want to do something other than serve the Lord, that puts us into this bondage. We've been in the bondage so long that nobody can trace it out. Prabhupada explained that. That's why we're called Nitya Baddha. You see, some people think if I do good works, if I'm a good person, if I give charity, if I don't tell lies, I don't cheat too much, I don't steal too much, I just more or less be a normal person, good guy, I play good cricket, then, I play good ping pong at the office and things like that. Then I'll achieve all success in life. I'll get salvation in the end. But even if we're the best person in the material world, by material standards, we still have to come again and again, birth after birth, in this material world. There's no automatic freedom. Even if we were to act 100 births of perfect varnashram dharma, we can become a Lord Brahma. But even if we're a Lord Brahma and we don't do any devotional service to Krishna, we don't go out of the material world, eventually we have to surrender to Krishna if we want to get out of the material world. Even the great Paramatma yogis, when they finally realize the Paramatma, at that time they achieve bhakti, they realize that there's nothing more than Krishna. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanavang mang prapadyante tang vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sadurlavam. And they realize Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. So one can go the long route, take many, many births, Bahunam Janmanam. Or one can go the direct route. Why we are here in the first place? Because we misuse our free will. Last time out here I told the story about that child that didn't open the door. Misuse of free will. There was one child that was pampered by the parents. Parents gave the child everything. Never heard that one? And the child was always, that parents thought that if we give everything to the child, this will be the best way of bringing up the child. It's the only child. They go, Alala Dulal. Special pampered child. So the child took for granted all the love and affection of the parents. And started to think that the parents, it's like their duty to serve me. He's always getting what he wants, so he's thinking like that whatever I want, parents have to give. They don't give, they're misbehaving. It's like so it's very dangerous if one doesn't put down a proper standard for the child. They can get too much and then they don't appreciate. So this one particular child was like that. One day, in the morning, he decided not to get out of bed. So he locked his doors and windows in the room, and he just stayed in the bed and covered his head with a blanket. So the parents thought, our little angel is sleeping, don't disturb. So it was already getting about 9 o'clock. They thought it's too late. He should get up. So they started knocking on the door. So the old little flower bud, time to get up. But the child said, well, listen, go away, you thieves, you dacoits in the night. I know it's midnight, and you're coming here to rob me. So they were shocked, what is midnight? It's broad daylight out. So what are you talking about? Open the door, it's daylight. It's not midnight. We're your mother and father. I know you're just imitating my mother and father. You're not really my mother and father. You're dacoits and it's not really daylight, it's night. You're trying to cheat me. I said, look here, it's not night at all. It's already 9 o'clock. You just, I don't see anything, it's dark in here. Where's the proof? The proof, you open the door, you see the light. If you say, tell me the sun is so powerful. If the sun is so powerful, that without opening the doors and window, let the sunlight come inside my room. If it doesn't come in the room, I don't believe in sun also. It's not there. I think stop all this foolishness, open up your door, because you'll see the light. So obviously, this child was being very naughty. This is an example of misuse of free will. The child misused the free will. Similarly, we also misuse our free will. Some people say, unless I can see Krishna, I don't believe. Bring him here now. What is that? If someone is locked in the room and he can't say, I don't believe in the sun, make it come in. It doesn't work that way. If you want to see the sun, you open your door. If you want to see Krishna, you have to open your heart. You have to surrender to Krishna. Then He'll reveal Himself to you. Why? He's not your servant, He has to come when you want and how you want. If someone says, I don't believe there's Rastapati, all the papers are lying, I want to see him, he has to come to my house, I don't believe. Who cares? Why he'll come to your house? If you want to see Krishna, then the process he gives, how to see him. Manmana bhamad bhaktiyo madhyaji mang namaskuru mangai vaisasi satyang te patijano prayoshime. You bow down to me, you be my devotee, you worship me, you remember me, and then you will come to me without any doubt. But if somebody is just an upstart, proud person, I don't believe in God unless he comes here and bows down to me, so to speak, or shakes my hand, and I won't believe. It doesn't make any sense. So many who have followed the proper procedure, they have seen Krishna. So Krishna gives us the free will. We can use it or misuse it. Like that child is misusing their free will. So someone said, well, I don't want to see God. I don't believe you. I don't want to open my door. It's like someone, I don't believe in God. I don't want to follow His rules. They can try to ignore, but they have to take the karmas. Whether you accept Krishna or not, everyone has to take the results of their karmas. Krishna's laws of the material world are insurmountable. Someone gave the example that everyone should bow down before Krishna, but someone may say, I won't bow down to anyone. I won't bow down. But Krishna in Gita says that for the demons, I come to them as death. That's the one realization they have of Krishna, that He's absolute, because everyone has to die. So when we die, then we all lie down before Krishna, flat up. So while living, you can lie down face forward and pay your dhanavad. If you don't, then anyway at death you'll be lying down on your back or stomach, one of the direction. But everyone has to lie down before Krishna. Either you do it willingly or you'll do it by force. So if we do it by force, mean again and again we have to come back in Punarjanma. And if we do it voluntarily, then no, I surrender to Krishna. Then he says, Maya metang tarantite, then I deliver my devotee. I said, because we don't want to go back to Krishna, therefore He's not taking us. It's not that He's being cruel. Rather, He is giving us a chance. We're misusing their free will. The bodies we get, the karmas we get are due to our own activities. Krishna makes the law. He implements the law, but the karmas we are doing. So therefore we can't blame anyone but ourselves for any suffering we experience. In the Western countries where they don't believe in Punarjanma, they can't understand why bad things happen to good people. I think this is such a nice person, why he is suffering? Because they don't accept that this karma is there's a previous birth. Some people like that, they don't accept. They don't have the explanation why people are born blind, why people are born crippled. Because there's a previous births and we have to take reaction. Nonetheless, devotees are compassionate to everyone. How to free people from this bondage of material nature. We may be very fortunate to be healthy and to be not crippled in this lifetime, but that doesn't mean that next lifetime we may not face a more difficult situation. So intelligent people, they can understand it. It's better we just use our free will in a proper way and serve Krishna. If He is the proprietor, our proprietor, we belong to Krishna, then we should serve according to Krishna's desire. If we're part of Krishna, then we should serve Him the way that He wants. It's very natural for us to serve Krishna. Within everyone, the bhakti is already there. Just like it's natural for children to walk and to talk. When they're born, they don't walk, they don't talk. But in due course of time, this propensities develop. And they can walk and talk. Similarly, within us, dormant is a natural propensity to worship Krishna, to serve Krishna. Simply if we have the good association, if we chant His holy names and do some devotional activities, then this natural devotion to Krishna comes. Someone may say this chanting is mechanical. It may be mechanical in the beginning because our natural love for Krishna is dormant. But if we go on chanting, then gradually this natural love for Krishna will become manifested. And at that time it will no longer be mechanical, it will be spontaneous chanting. We'll like to chant, we'll get happiness chanting. You see, sometime when guests come and they see that some devotees are chanting and dancing, they wonder, what is all this jumping up and down? Because they're not feeling anything when they chant Hare. In Western countries, people like to dance. They go to discotheques and everything for dancing only. So we tell them, why you don't come and dance Hare Krishna dance? And we chant Hare Krishna. But they'll stand there watching, and then after a while they get into it, and then they also start to dance. Then when they dance, they say, oh, this is very nice, I feel very good. And they give up their material dancing and they come and do Hare Krishna Kirtan. So, when we engage in Krishna's service, then automatically that itself awakens our dormant devotion. Devotion is already there. At some point we have to decide whether we want to serve Krishna or not. Here in this verse, the wonderful nature of the material illusion is explained. How powerful the material nature is. But that material nature is so powerful because she's the energy of Krishna. There are many worshippers of Aman, of Devi. Devi, in this verse also is glorified. Nobody can cross over Devi except if you get a ticket from Krishna. If He gives you the path of liberation, then you can go. So the only way we can cross over Maya is by getting the mercy of Krishna. Although we are conscious entities and the material nature is not conscious, but the whole construction of the illusion is such that we won't be able to get out of it. And 16th chapter of Gita, I believe, it's the 16th or maybe it's later, 18th. There's a description of the tree of material nature where the roots up and the branches down. So that tree is so big that a person can go from one branch to the next eternally and never find the end. This material nature is so expansive. You go on taking birth after birth and you don't find the end. Now the scientists have calculated there are so many millions and billions of planets and luminaries in this universe, in this greater Brahman, that the numbers that they are mentioning are really mind-boggling. And we consider that each of those luminaries are having so many planets and so many orbitaries around. And according to the Vedas, there's life on every part of the universe. All the planets have life. Not necessarily in the same dimension. They may have life in various ways. According to Vedas, there's life on the moon. But our material scientists claim they went to the moon, they don't find any life. Now there's some other scientists say that maybe they didn't even go. That it was a plot between America and Russia. Whole thing was staged. They didn't have the technology then to go. Even take it that they went, that those photos and all were real. But people living on Chandraloka, that's considered a Swarga, one of the lower levels of Swarg. So they're not living on the same dimension that we live on. They have bodies which last thousands of years. They're on a higher level. The Swargavasis don't have to be visible to the human beings. When Lord Chaitanya was a small baby, the Swargavasis, the Devas, used to come and see Krishna, Chaitanya. But then Lord Chaitanya, they would come invisibly, but by his mystic power, he would make their shadow visible to Mother Sachi Devi. So Sachi would see this movement and she'd scream out, "Narasinghadev!" And the Deva would realize that somehow she's seeing me. No human can see me, but she's seeing me. Then they'd run off. Say, this is Chaitanya is tricking me. They wanted to see the new avatar. So an avatar is saying, "Oh, you want to see me?" But he had played tricks on them. It said that previously the Devas would come for the yagyas performed by the great kings in Dwapara Yuga, like Yudhisthira would do Rajasuya Yagya. And common people could see the Devas. Otherwise you can't see, unless they decide to come and reveal themselves. So they live on a higher dimension. So if we don't find their houses in the moon, it doesn't mean they're not there. Moreover, they say that in Venus, for instance, it's all ammonia gas or something. I'm not exactly sure of this. Someone mentioned, I think I saw it in the paper. There may be different types of gas. That even in this planet, the scientists made a discovery that in the ocean floor, there was a fissure where gas was coming out. And they found that all type of animals and the flora and fauna in the bottom of the sea, they're living around this gas. So they studied, they found that gas was ammonia gas. And that these creatures, if they went out of the gas, they died. Their metabolism was based on an ammonia base. Like normally we're oxygen based. We breathe oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. The plant breathes in the carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen. That's why we're worrying about the ecology. They're cutting down all the trees. We won't have anything to breathe. In the Arabian Gulf, there's not many trees. producing oxygen. Where there are trees, if they're all cut down and everywhere becomes a desert, then what we're going to breathe? The world will become like these air-conditioned buildings when they don't have any air inside. So, they found that these animals in the bottom of the ocean, and were living in this gas. An ordinary fish would fly in the gas, swim in the gas, he'd die. Immediately, highly poisonous, ammonia. So these plants and animals were simply living off of the ammonia. They had developed a metabolism, or they were not visible in other places. There's a particular new types of species. So when the Vedas say that there is life on all the planets, and they say that, some planets only have ammonia, so there can be life. There can be life. We cannot live. If we go on an ammonia planet, we'll die like that. But other life could be there, that breathes ammonia and breathes out something else. Some other type of metabolism. But we, generally people, even the scientists, they tend to just see in a very narrow spectrum. That's why if there's now a lot of interest in the Vedas, because Vedas are giving a perspective on things which are a totally different level. Recently, one of our scientists, Sariputta Prabhu, Dr. Richard Thompson, he's given some lectures regarding unidentified flying objects. In America, there's a lot of interest in unidentified flying objects, commonly known as flying saucers. There's cited thousands and thousands of people have seen these flying saucers, UFOs. And many people seem to have been abducted by them. Some people have been made pregnant. Their babies have been taken. There's been crossbred extraterrestrials with human beings. All kinds of reports are there. Some government files have become revealed where the government has actually admitted that one of these flying saucers had crashed, and they got the remnants of that crash. All these things are there. Now some people, they don't know what to think. So they want to hear, what do the Vedas say? Now in the Bhagavatam, it mentions that Salva, he came and attacked Krishna from a special type of flying machine, which was taking its energy from the sunlight and the moonlight, and it was suddenly appearing and disappearing. It was moving in and out of the clouds. It was going in this way and that way, then disappearing. These are all the way that the present flying saucers are acting. So Salva got this from one of the demon. He made friend with Maya Danava, or one of those demons, and he got this flying machine. So there, of course, we just read the Bhagavatam. Krishna fought this demon, he fought that demon. Okay, this Salva came with some flying machine. Okay, Krishna wiped him out. But they are analyzing, what did the machine do? How did it look? How did it move? They want to see. Acha, this is the first time we're finding some, in Sanskrit it's mentioning about this time, 5,000 years ago, they were seeing flying machine. How developed their society was. They had contact with other planets. Arjuna was going to Indraloka. They're analyzing it from that. They're not taking it now, okay, let's take it as scientific evidence about extraterrestrial travel, all these things. Generally people are looking at, in India, I always hear people say, yes, our mythology, our legends. They don't take it as history. The Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he said, this Bhagavatam is history. This is the history of the world. Mahabharata, history of the world. Bhagavatam, history of the universe. From other universes also. So from the very beginning, the devotees all over ISKCON, they know that Puranas mean histories. This is not a mythology, it's not myths or legends, or these are actual histories. These things happened at some time in the past. So what's happening now is this interest in Krishna consciousness. There's some rumors going around that very soon the government cannot avoid in admitting, the world governments, the leading governments, that actually these visitations to this planet are happening. Or there may be such an obvious visitation that they can't deny it. In which case they don't have the clear explanation. None of the present religions of the world, except for the Vedic religion, has a clear explanation about life on other planets. There's 18 kinds of vimanas mentioned in Vedas. Various type of vimanas, from pushpa vimana to mechanized vimanas to higher energy vimanas. So these things are already there in Vedas. It's not a new thing. The technology was there, but it was lost to our planet, but other planets, other Bhupatal, whatever they may have it, must still be having. So these things are recorded. So there's a feeling that because Krishna consciousness has this information, that if these things become revealed, then that will be very good for us. Just like now that reincarnation is also scientifically getting a lot of evidence. People naturally then they become more open to Krishna consciousness because, Acharya, what you're saying now the scientists also say. People tend to believe the scientists. So what's the difference is that we believe the Vedas from the beginning. Science is alright, but science has its limit. So if science does or doesn't coincide with the Vedas, that doesn't affect our faith. We believe in the Vedas. And science can only, after all, study the phenomena of this world to a certain limit. Science doesn't have any scope to know what's beyond matter. Their instruments are matter. So Krishna is non-material. He is spiritual. He is Satchidanand. So no scientist can find out Krishna. So scientific proof of Krishna by observation is very difficult. Krishna was on this planet. He visited here. He performed these pastimes. Now if you accept the Vedic description, Krishna showed his Visvarup, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, Krishna expanded himself into thousands of Krishnas and danced with thousands of gopis. He married 16,000 queens and he went into each of the palaces at the same time. These things are not possible for human beings. So we accept that, okay, Bhagavatam has said this is a fact, and Krishna can do this because he's God, then it all makes sense. There's nothing fantastic or wonderful about it. It's quite possible for Krishna to do anything if he's Bhagavan. So there's no other way to understand the Vedas except as these words spoken by Krishna. And there's no other way we can know who is Krishna, who is God, except by Vedas and Puranas. By science we'll never know what is the spiritual world. We'll never know what is where we've come from. This is beyond their limits. They may never know what's the whole universe. They're trying to find out by observation. But the Vedas say even if the scientist, even if some great scientist or Sankhya, there they had Sankhya, now it's science, same thing. Even if some Sankhya yogi can analyze all the qualities of the material elements, all the atoms in the universe, even if some great discoverer can see every atom in the universe, they can't find out Krishna and all his unlimited qualities. He's beyond this material world. This material energy, Daivi Maya. It's my energy. And this energy is covering Krishna. Using this energy, we can see Krishna. If we want to see Krishna, we can see Krishna only by our own spiritual vision. He can give us that vision. So the devotees, by chanting Hare Krishna, they experience Krishna's presence. And in that presence, they feel happy. And that happiness goes on growing until we become so much connected with Krishna that Krishna, He voluntarily reveals everything to us. Just like a good child. If you're a very faithful child, very obedient, very faithful, at some time when he grows and becomes mature, you may be willing to give all your wealth, all your secrets to that child. Up to that child's capacity to use it. You reveal your business secret or personal assets, what they are. That could happen to a certain extent. Similarly, Krishna will reveal so many things to us. When we take Him in confidence, He'll take us in confidence. Jai jita mang papadyante tang sataiva bhajamyaham. If we take one step to Krishna, He'll take 10 steps to us. He's more eager we return to Him than we are to go to Him. Just like a naughty child runs away, the parents are very worried how to get the child back. Krishna is very affectionate, He wants us to come back. We are the ones who are being disobedient and don't want to serve Krishna. So this whole bondage, the whole Baddha Jivan can be immediately solved in a second if we surrender to Krishna. We decide, I don't have any other business. My only business is serving Krishna. Whatever I do, it should be done as a devotion to Krishna. That is the meaning of bhakti. No other engagement but serving God. We can serve God as a grihasta, we can serve God as a brahmachari or a sannyasi, as a student, any life ashram, any status in life. From any status one can serve Krishna. That doesn't mean that one has to suddenly give up everything. We simply accept that from this point forward, I'm going to serve Krishna. Krishna is my protector, He's my Lord. Whatever I do, He's my boss. Right? Some places they always have the head of state in the official places. So He's our boss. We always have a picture of Krishna, Chaitanya, head of department. We are answerable to Him. Everyone is answerable. Some accept and some don't. Those who accept, He protects. So this devotional service is very sublime. You practice devotional service, and gradually it brings you closer and closer to Krishna. But sometimes people say, well, only by chanting Hare Krishna, only by bhakti, nothing more. They want something more. You know the story about the rich man who used to take milk every afternoon? He's from South India. He used to take those big red bananas too, every night, with fresh milk, hot. Very wealthy man. He liked this as very attached to hot milk and the red banana. So he was so much attached to having a fresh milk that he got his own cows and a cowherd man. So he had a servant every day going to the cowman, bringing his milk, and they cooked the hot milk and give him. He's taking milk every day, but he's thinking, I'm not getting the best milk. That this milk is a little watery. Why it's not better? Like he was never satisfied. Although he got hot milk, had his own cows, he always suspected maybe that cowman is putting water. Even it's his own cow. See, they're always complaining why the milk is not better, why it's so thin. So that servant and cowman, they got impatient. Every time he's always complaining. So one day he said that, okay, you bring that cowman, why the milk seems too thin today? So the servant said, today you're going to get it. He's asking you to bring, to come. So the cowman made a plan, and then he came. He went to his house and he took some fresh lime. Not lime lemon, this lime like you put on the wall, paint lime. And he put that in the water, and he gave it a good mix. And it became very white, like, you know, you put the lime. So he made a special mix. Then he had his milk from the cows. So he went in, the man was saying, why the milk isn't good enough, this, I started complaining. He said, sir, look it. This is your milk from your cows. This is a pure milk. But you have to understand, this is the milk from my house. This is the cowman's milk. So every day you're taking this milk. Today, what milk you want to take? So he looked at me, that lime, was very white. It looked, the regular milk looked not so white, off-white. And lime is a pure white. So he thought, okay, today I'll take cowman milk. So he said, okay, it's your choice, whatever you want, you take it. So he took that lime and drank. Burning out the whole intestine, stomach, everything. It's highly poisonous. He took that and he was killed. So the police, they came, investigated. Then they arrested those two fellows. They said, why are you arresting us? We didn't do anything. You fed him the poison. No, he chose it. We didn't say anything. It's his own free will. Don't blame us. They said, no, you knew that was poison. You offered to him. So we're taking you away. What's that? 304 or something? I don't know, Indian Penal Code. So then, murder. So this way, just like that man, he was getting milk every day. He could just go on taking his milk and banana, I'd be alright. But he's always feeling, I should have something more, something more. Sometimes we think, only bhakti. Bhakti is a pure thing, you take it and you'll be healthy. But if someone is always looking for a little more, something more shiny, more white, more flashy, so there'll be those cheaters who come and offer you. Yes. Why you want to worship Krishna is far away. I am Krishna here. Look at, I can produce rasgullas. No need of Visvarup, I'm giving you rasgullas. You cannot eat Visvarup, you can eat the rasgulla. If you give me big donation, I'll give you diamond ring also. As people think, this is an instant avatar. It's like instant noodles, instant avatar. So we can get, this is much better. But this is like taking the lime drink. You don't serve Bhagavan, you try to serve some false avatar, or you try to serve this thing or that. Then you drink the wrong thing, you get poisoned. And so some people are there cheating, giving some process. They know it's not the true process. But they present it in such a way, you can do whatever you like. But they present it in such a way that people, this is better. Okay, then I'll take this. They leave the good thing and take the false thing. They may think, oh, I don't get any karmas. Even if I give these, they're my people, my followers. That person dies with other people, they also have to go before Yamaraj and get punished for their crimes on humanity, for giving a false process. So we should take devotional service, that which Krishna is recommending here in Bhagavat Gita. This is accepted by all acharyas. Bhagavat Gita is totally acceptable. Bhagavatam is acceptable. We take the Vedic system which is approved how to reach Krishna by pure devotion, and we'll be guaranteed success. If we want something more than bhakti, more than what Krishna has told us to do, then we run the risk of being cheated, misled, and for that we'll die our own spiritual death, and those people mislead us, they'll suffer. That's their problem, no doubt. But in the bargain we lose. Devotionals are some people, they're doing almost everything nicely, but they're still hanging on to some activities which they know are not good. There's a story of this one boy, he had the bad friends, and from the bad friends, he learned how to chew tobacco. So every day he's chewing the tobacco, and even he's only about 13 years old, he developed this cancerous sore. The doctor said that yet is benign. It will become malignant if you go on eating this tobacco. You stop tobacco chewing and you simply drink milk. Milk is pure. You take milk, it will cure your lesion. That gha, what do you call it? Cut. Cancerous. So, that boy, he will start taking, his parents gave milk, he's taking milk. But then on the side, he's also chewing the tobacco. Because the doctor told you, don't take tobacco, just take the milk. I'm taking the milk. I'm taking the milk. But you're also taking tobacco. Yeah, I have to take tobacco. But I'm taking the milk. So he went back to the doctor, they said, you're not getting better. He's taking milk and taking the tobacco, so that sore is not healing. So sometimes people, they're doing a little bhakti, they're doing a little bhukti. And they're wondering why I'm not getting the effect. We have to give up the bad, take the good medicine, and also we have to avoid doing those things which are harmful for our spiritual life. Then we can get the full effect. Just like Draupadi, when she surrendered to Krishna, when the Vastraharan was going on, that she was losing that cloth, that disrobing. So with one hand she's holding the cloth, other she's calling, Krishna, help me. Then she thought, what am I holding this for? I can't do anything. The Dusasana is much stronger. He said, Maharati, I'm a frail woman, what can I do fighting with him? So if Krishna is going to help me, I just depend on Krishna. She lifted both the hands. Completely helpless. Whatever you do, Krishna, Keshava. She's crying on his name. That says in Darpa Yuga, this is a sign that in all yugas the Naam is powerful. By calling Krishna's name, even he's thousands of miles away, immediately he came and he became unlimited sadi. So if we completely depend on Krishna, whatever he does, good or bad, that we accept. Now let me do what will be pleasing to him. Then definitely will provide us. Because we're holding with one hand, we're not fully depending on Krishna, so He's also not fully giving. He's not seeing only what we're giving, He's seeing also what we're not giving. He sees everything. So in conclusion, we see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to this place called Kurma Desh. There's a beautiful Kurma temple in Andhra Pradesh, near not far from it. That's the Narmada there? Huh? Kaveri? No, Narmada, no? Godavari, yeah, you're right. Godavari, sorry. Narmada is the other side. Godavari River. And that temple actually was discovered by Ramanuja Acharya. The people thought it was a Shiva Linga. Then he found it was a Kurma temple. It wasn't Shiva before, it was a Kurma. But because they just were seeing that back of the tortoise, they thought it was a Shiva Linga. And he saw that it was having the head and 4 legs. It was actually a Kurma. But it had been covered up by dirts and things, so he cleaned it up and then he did Abhishek, and since that time it's been worshipped at Kurma temple. So that's called Kurma Desh in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Locally I don't know what they call it. But that place, Lord Chaitanya, he had several pastimes. One pastime, one well-to-do Brahmana came and said, I am very much frustrated with my family life. So many troubles are there, I want to give up everything and join you and just go with you. Then Lord Chaitanya said, I am telling you, never say these, I don't want to hear these words from you ever again. This is a false renunciation. You don't speak these words again. You simply remain here. You do your devotional service. You practice Krishna consciousness. You preach to your friends, your family members, to your country people. On my order, you be a guru. And you give this Krishna consciousness to others. Whoever you meet, you tell them the glories of Krishna. Jare dako tare koho Krishna upadesh. Amagya Guru Hoya Taro Edesh. Don't think about leaving your family and all these things. This artificial renunciation. Lord Chaitanya did not approve the abrupt, renunciation, especially if it's due to some frustration and all that. Because that's a negative impulse. When one is fully mature and has full attachment to Krishna, at the end of life, there may be some people who fully dedicate with the permission of their families and everything. The Lord Chaitanya, He very clear, wherever you are, you practice in that circumstance. Don't abruptly just artificially renounce things because you don't like it. Then later you may not also like the ashram, you may again like, this is better. You go back and forth. So Lord Chaitanya, He wanted very clearly, you just preach from whatever position you're in, you practice your Krishna consciousness. There's another interesting pastime happened at Kurma Desh. Just as he was about to leave, Lord Chaitanya actually left. Every morning, Lord Chaitanya would take his morning bath, do his Gayatri and everything, and then he would leave about 7 in the morning and start off to the next place. So, Lord Chaitanya already left. About 7:15, there was this one Brahmana, Vasudeva, who had gotten a leprosy. And he was in advanced stage of leprosy. Already his whole hand was, half it was off. But he was a very spiritual person. He never took it in a bad way. He took it as my karma. I must have done something like that. So he was meditating and remembering Krishna, but being a leper in those days, you couldn't associate with society. So he was like an outcast. So he heard about Lord Chaitanya coming. He wanted to have the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So immediately he went to see Lord Chaitanya. He reached about 7:15. He asked for Lord Chaitanya. They said he already gone. Mahaprabhu's left. And that Vasudev became like a wild man. What? He left. Oh no, I'll never see him. This was a hope in my life. I could have at least a darshan of Mahaprabhu. Just by seeing him we can get pure bhakti. I've heard so much of him. Oh no, 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 oh no. My whole life is ruined now. No, and he's like rolling on the ground and he's saying, no, no. When will I see Lord Chaitanya again? When will I have the chance? And he's just lamenting like anything. Lord Chaitanya was so merciful. Although he's already gone several kilometers away, he just immediately, poof, out of the thin air, he just appeared right before that Brahmana. He came back. The Brahmana could hardly, because of his devotion, his intense desire, he brought back Krishna, Chaitanya. So that Vasudeva, when he saw that Chaitanya was there, then he immediately paid his obeisances and started offering his prayers. But Lord Chaitanya just picked him up and embraced him. And he said, no, no, don't touch me. But as Lord Chaitanya embraced him, then a miracle happened and completely he became cured. Not only cured, he became restored. That parts which were missing, the fingers and that was already gone, they became back, he became completely whole again. And Vasudeva said, what you have done? You cured me now. By this I may become too proud. I'll think that I'm such a person that Lord Chaitanya cured me, so therefore I'm a great person or something, and I'll leave your lotus feet. I'll become falsely proud. Ahankara will take over my mind. Better you leave me diseased and I can just be your humble devotee. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you don't have to worry. I cured you, but you go on chanting Hare Krishna and you just preach to everyone to chant Hare Krishna. And by chanting you'll be protected from the Maya. So like that he also gave him instruction, you stay here and you go on chanting Hare Krishna. Make the other people also happy by chanting. Then Lord Chaitanya, he went back to where he was and was invisible. So Lord Chaitanya, he also gave some instructions. He performed so many miracles. But his instructions were very consistent. Completely consistent with Bhagavat Gita, with Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's the wonderful thing, is that studying all kinds of teachings in the world, all types of philosophies, you see that this Krishna consciousness movement, the philosophy, the practices, everything is so consistent with the Shastra, everything is so practical that a person can live this life. It's a livable. There may be something more flashy, like that lime drink or something, but it's not practical. It's not. But Krishna consciousness, you may think, why not be more than bhakti? But it's actually practical. You can do it. Even here, you can practice Krishna consciousness while you're doing your job, while you're living with your family, while you're serving your husband or serving your wife, whether man or woman. Anyone can practice this. Married or unmarried. It's a very practical process. But the beginning comes in this verse. Mam eva jay prapadyante. Who is going to accept my shelter, who is going to surrender to me? That is a big step. Read Bhagavat Gita, study, chant, come to that decision that yes, Krishna, I am surrendering my life in your hands. I'm accepting you as my Lord. From now on, I'm going to simply do what you want me to do. I've only been doing what I want to do. I have not been happy. In spite of good fortune or bad fortune, whatever happens, still I am never satisfied. Now I am deciding that I'm simply going to serve you. That is prapadyante. And then we follow Krishna's representative Guru advice. We follow his instruction in Shastra. We take the good example of other great devotees. And we lead our life in such a way that Krishna will be pleased. And then Krishna promises that we will go back to him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any question?
In the beginning you say on Sloka, Paramananda Madhavam, Sri Chaitanya Ishvara. His name
That's all is part of the same. There's 3 versions. Mukha karoti vachalam pangulangayate girim. Yat kripa tamahang bande. There's 3 versions. Sigurum dinatarinam. By there's Mukha karoti vachalam. Mukha karoti vachalam. A deaf man can become a great orator. Pangulangayate girim. A lame man can cross over the mountain. By the mercy of, then there's 3 different versions of them. One version is Guru Dinatarinam, by the mercy of Guru. One is Paramananda Madhavam, by the mercy of Krishna Madhav. Another one is by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Lord. So I'm trying to just combining, asking each of them for that mercy. Although any one of them can give, one is more than enough. But I am just asking all 3. Since they're all the same. Following the parampara.